So there are these 4 different, I like to call them momentum, because when we call them energies, people kind of get a little like, whoa, energy, and they get confused with chi energy. But this is more, to me, it's more of an expression of a type of a quality and a type of momentum. So if I get in this posture, it's called ward off, and then you take 2 hands and push on it. If I just use my muscle, then that's really a hard force. Go ahead and push, yeah, and it takes me off. Very nice. But if I get into song, so wait, let me get into I'm into song, and then I feel, and I'm floating myself. Then when you push, you should feel a little bit of upward floatingness. So you see how it lifted you up. And it's not a physical, it's not, let's do it again, and I'll show a physical, I'm trying to lift you up. Yeah, go ahead and resist me though. So if I try to lift you up by changing the angle, yeah, I don't really succeed. But if I feel myself with Peng, which is a buoyant, light feeling, then it pongs, it sort of pongs back. Do you feel how you go up?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's Peng. So Peng is I fill myself with lightness, and then I imagine that I'm filling you with lightness as I deliver. And it changes. Can you explain how it felt? How different it felt?
It was like I'm lifting up, but there's not as much force as before.
That's a great description, because that's part of what we do in Tai Chi is we want to sort of fly under the radar, so to speak. So Peng is this upward, like I said, it's a momentum. It's not an angle of force. That's what a lot of my viewers are thinking I'm doing. So an angle of force, once again, if I'm thinking up and I'm trying to go up, so my angle of force is here, resist, 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 yeah. So it's not successful. But if I go into Peng, my bouncy self, I love the bouncy self, and then I lift you and Peng you, you see? Yeah. So you felt that, a change in my force, where it became a little less readable, and then you felt lifting up.
Yeah.
That's Peng. Now J-I, go ahead again, is like, I think of it as a train. So as she's pouring through me, then I just imagine my back is against a wall. Did you feel the difference in the quality?
You seem more relaxed.
I am more relaxed, actually. I have to practice too. And then I just go through, I pretend that my back is up against that wall, and then the wall moves. Yeah. Okay, and let's contrast that again with me using muscle and trying to do the weight shift. So if I try to weight shift against her, just so you all doubters out there think that she's faking it, or you know, I haven't coached her before. But now I'm just leaning my back up against this imaginary wall, and then imagine the wall is on wheels, and they just go straight through. Yeah, so she resisted even more.
Yeah.
What does that feel like to you?
I'm just caught off balance, and
Was it different than Peng?
Yes.
Can you articulate? Sorry to put you under pressure.
Yeah. It didn't feel like you're pressing that hard, but it was lifting up and pushed me back.
So I had a bit of Peng with my G, so it wasn't pure G, which is fine. G is straight through, so it's like a linear, like I'm right through the equator of the line of force. If I try to push straight through, it's not going to happen. But if I imagine my back is on that wall, and then the wall moves and I go straight through. And did you hear yourself go?
Yeah, I'm trying to resist even more.
Yeah.
But it's like barreling at me.
Barreling. See, that's the right descriptor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
It's a difference than the buoyancy of Peng. Okay, so we did Peng, we did G. And now we're going to do On. And On is more of a sinking, and I don't really like to use the word sinking, but it's a heaviness. So on is like when we make a Tai Chi movement and we're just pouring the weight down. Now if I try to pull her down, that's mechanical. And that's really tricky with on, is that we don't try to push down. We fill our body with heaviness, and then we fill the person with heaviness. Yeah. What'd you feel?
I'm getting pulled to the ground.
Right. It is, and it's, I will say that for me, this was the most esoteric one, because I wanted that feedback loop. You want to push down. So if I try to push her down, she knows what that force is and go ahead and push against me. And so it's giving her a lot of feedback. How do you do this? I fill myself with heaviness. I don't collapse. I fill myself with a quality of heaviness, and then I just pour that in to her. And then I can, yeah. So then what's really interesting is our Tai Chi movements can be both at the same time. So if you came at me, say with your forearm or your punch like that, yeah, go ahead. And then I can take on. I can do on like so. Or, so this would be like one of our movements like that. Or it's a divide. So you've heard of the term divide and conquer, right? Or no house divided can stand. So what you're going to do then is go ahead and throw a punch with that arm. And so here I've got Peng. And then if she said, well, I'm stuck here, but she's going to try to throw a punch here, then, sorry, then I can give her on here. So she's Peng here, and I've got on here. So then it's much easier to move her.
Yeah, I would just end up on my back and then totally defeated.
Totally defeated.
Yeah.
Whereas if I tried to go ahead and punch and I block, now this is force. This is force on force. So she's got a pretty good purchase of me, or an idea of where I am. And then, but she's blocked, so she's smart. She's going to punch here. And if I blocked here, then you feel these 2 points of force. So what would you do? You could just, yes, that's right. You just push me. But if I do it again, so go ahead. And this is Peng. And then she tries another strike. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I'm going to come there. I'm trying to get on the inside of her, but she's tricky. And then I do on here. So I've got this heaviness here and this Peng here, and you can see how her posture is compromised. And I could change to on. Yeah. So it's dividing that force. So when we do something like our 2 blocks, the block high, block low, or white crane, flashing wings. So she punches, I've got float, she punches, I've got block, and I can do 2 Pengs, or I can do a Peng and an on. And see how it takes her off, and then she can, yeah. Or if I'm really good, I don't even have to step in. So let's see if I can do that. Go ahead and punch, float, and then here's on. And so she's poor, yeah. So then I just can turn her that way. There we go. So I'm just rotating my qua, rotating the hips, rotating the qua, rather than stepping in. How you execute it at the end is really up to you and your repertoire of movement. So we had the Peng, the on, the G, and then the Lu is the rotating or the rolling off. And so Lu is present with, it's sort of mixed in with the other 3. I think we talked about this, right, with the sandwich. Was that my class? Sorry, get them confused. So think of a sandwich, and the stuff that you put in the sandwich is the Peng, the G, and the on. So let's say I want a ham sandwich. So go ahead and throw that punch. So this is my Peng. And then I decide, with that ham, I want a little bit of salami. So go ahead. So I'm going to do some on. So I have Peng and on. So I've got both these ingredients in my sandwich. But my sandwich is not complete without the Lu. So I'm sitting here. What do I do with this? Well, I'm going to add that rolling component. That's the Lu. That's the bread. So Lu goes with the other three. They help to deliver the other three. I don't know if that analogy helps you all. But yes, so there are 4 qualities, but we rarely, I can't even think of a time where I'm actually just going to do Lu all by itself, which is that rolling quality. The Lu is on top of the Peng or the Ji or the An. Okay. So if you wanted to practice this, you have your partner get in ward off. I mean, you get in ward off and then have the partner push on you here. And when you have a partner, get somebody that might work with you a little bit, that's not going to overpower you initially. Although she does try to overpower me, but that's okay. But while you're learning, then you just feel yourself become buoyant, and then you can connect to them and feel buoyancy through them, and off they go. So you can try that several times and ask for feedback. So that ward off position for the person practicing it, and then the person pushing against you for the quality. Then for G, press up, imagine this wall. And so as she presses, just rest on your wall. It changes everything, doesn't it? And then just imagine this whole wall is sliding, or you can imagine a line through the person. But what you don't want to do is try to move the wall from here forward. It's the whole wall from your back forward. Oops, you got me. Okay, yeah, but that wasn't very dramatic. I'll try it again. See, sometimes we just doesn't work out, so it's just important to try it again. So the wall is there, and she's pressing, and you can't focus here, or oh my gosh, she's pressing so hard. Just take it and let it fill your back into the wall even more. That kind of makes her lose where you are. And then you move the train straight through. Oh, sorry.
The train, that's a good one.
Right.
Yeah,
move that train
through.
But move it from here, not from here forward.
Yeah, there was a lot of momentum coming at me.
Was it?
Yeah.
And for me, it was really easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh, interesting.
Yeah, good.
And then the last one, we did Peng, Ji, and then the An. So for An, if you want to practice the An or do a drill with An, just have them resist you this way. And you can try to pull them to feel whether they're resisting you enough. And then just maybe bend your elbows a little bit. Just, there you go. Just make yourself released and heavy. And there she goes. Do you feel that? Did you see that? And then I didn't even start to pour it into her. And now I'll release me. Then I go into her. Yeah, and you can see her knees buckling. And when you push, if you're doing it right, they'll collapse downward.
Yeah.
Okay, so Peng, Lu, Ji, An. And then you can try the dividing of the two, and you can take it and start to do a little bit of adding the Lu to it. So in this instance, bend your elbows a little bit. There you go. Resist, resist. If I do An, and then I can rotate.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so play with those ideas. Please, if you have any questions or comments, put them down in the comment section. And if you enjoy my content, I really would appreciate support so I can continue to make the content. It does take time, and I'm very passionate about this. I just started a buy me a coffee. So it's down there in the description. Any amount, no matter how small, is really helpful. So click on that buy me a coffee if you'd like to make a small donation so that I can continue and as a show of support. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next lesson.